Hello, Steve here. Welcome to Real Health. Who'd have thought health is about what we're eating? Join me on my quest to disseminate my go-to health regimen, the Health 44, my clumsy branding of eliminating 4 classes of food, introducing 4 classes of micronutrients. Bingo, bongo, health sorted. So thank you for your interest. Let's do this. Welcome once again. Here we go. Let's do this. PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, ovary syndrome, or whichever way you want to call it. What I'm going to discuss here also does apply to irregular menstrual cycle, endometriosis, and like type conditions in the reproductive area for women. This also applies for the dudes, the guys, the men out there as well. Yes, it's in that case, for the people that are looking for a shotgun approach or scattergun approach, this is it, because it is a scattergun approach. It's not a sniper pinpoint idea. Mainstream health would like to suggest that it's pinpoint. Everybody's different. Your genes, your lifestyle, your body is attacking itself. Chronic disease issues and the like. It is systemic, but targeted systemic. So it is diet related, but because our food supply chain is impaired, particularly with our farming lands, we need to supplement these days, and with some particular concern, some emphasis on which diet, or more accurate, which foods will alleviate, will resolve your issues. So let's do this straight off then. So because you could now easily pinpoint that it is a hormonal issue because it's related to fertility, let's face it, which leads to the whole irregular periods or absence of periods and the like. What's important is cholesterol intake. I don't believe, this is a little bit more humble of an opinion because my opinions aren't too humble. Cholesterol levels aren't understood the way that we'd like to understand things with human physiology and all life for that matter. But one thing is for certain is that cholesterol intake, we can produce cholesterol as well. That's why it's not considered an essential micronutrient. Our body can manufacture it, but we need also ample supply of it. So, not to poo-poo on vegans, vegetarians. Vegetarians are a little bit, of course, a lot better than a vegan approach. This is not a poo-pooing of vegans, please, but it just makes it harder. But one thing is for certain: cholesterol, ample supply, intake of cholesterol is important for our hormone health and brain health, for that matter. Our hormone health doesn't really influence too much our brain health. It does, because your anxieties towards some of the conditions out there will impact your mental health, but it's not a brain health function. It's just an anxiety thing, which I know it's a little bit of a conundrum, a tautology, but it is diet. No, it's not genetic. Hear those lips, read those lips. It's not genetic, and it's not environmental. The people that are on the whole, I don't know, toxins and mold is up there. If there is a 1 or 5% issue with toxins and environment, mold will be up there. EMF, probably less than the mold issue. The soaps, the cosmetics, and that sort of thing is probably rating under the EMFs. As a total, maybe 1%, maybe 5%, which pretty much means a minute or cherry on top factor. Okay, so intake of cholesterol is important. And for those that will suggest, I eat plenty of eggs and saturated fats, you need to, there's a bit more involved here. How are you cooking your eggs, and how well done is your meat preparation? That's a big factor. Okay, I'll cover it briefly, but if I'm losing a few people already, I just need to slot that in. So what I advocate for, depending on your age, now let's say 40 is the advanced age if you have troubles conceiving or got those polycystic ovary presentations, symptoms, and that sort of thing. This is how you address the issue. Excuse me. Address the issue over time. As a 40-year-old, it will take longer versus the 20-year-old or 15-year-old for that matter. Because the older you are, the reason why I mentioned 40 and not the whole 80 or 60 complex is because the older you are, the more damage is done in your absorption capability of cholesterol as well. And it's not aging for aging's sake or genetics. The reason why we age at a particular rate is the lack of micronutrients. And cholesterol is one of those for PCOS and all the other reproductive system conditions. So let's take your food intake. So eggs are a big weight. I advocate for 4 eggs if you're normal weight. 5 and 6 eggs, there should be a plus. So go for as many eggs as you can. Does that mean 10 eggs? You could. Don't make it uncomfortable for you. How about the flatulence and all that sort of thing? That's all unrelated. Yes, people that have a lot of eggs and vegans and some carnivores, yes, they can have flatulence, but it's a bit complicated, but this is just skimming the surface. So have at least 4, 5, 6 eggs per day, one sitting or a couple of sittings. Preparation, don't fry them. Don't fry your eggs. The less cooked your eggs are in poached, boiled, scrambled, scrambled best in the microwave. Oh, but EMF and all that sort of thing, no. Microwaves even, microwaves, waves are, yes, they're shorter than infrared waves, but they're certainly, they're longer than infrared waves, but they're certainly much shorter than 4G, 5G, and normal Wi-Fi waves. So it is safe, comparatively speaking. Okay. So and also the people that are concerned about overcooking and temperature. Well, the idea of microwaves, they only heat up moisture or water in the foodstuff, and therefore there's no superheating. It's only the moisture. Okay, so That's for the scrambled people. That's me. That's why I jumped on that one. So no fried. I'll cover why not fried, but they need to be underdone for the regular populace, just over the point of where there's no more clear white left of the eggs. There can be a few more steps over just that idea, but they are certainly runny. So basically what this all means is have your eggs runny depending on your preparation style, or however you want to call that. Okay. The reason for that is bioavailability of all the other micronutrients that are contained in eggs, but especially the bioavailability of the cholesterol. Okay. And preparation considerations also relates to eating your meat. So red meat equivalent, medium rare, and lower. Any higher cooking outcome produces more trans fats, heterocyclic amines, and acrylamides, which hampers the bioavailability of the micronutrients and the cholesterol coming out of the saturated fats. Dairy, depending on which dairy you're doing, it's pretty hard to overheat the dairy. Take it easy on the cheese. It's casein loaded, which is pretty much crack, which can lead to overeating of your dairy. Okay, so take note there. So bioavailability of the cholesterol is essential. And on top of the bioavailability, we must supplement these days. And the reason we need to supplement is because there's not enough minerals that are entering our farming lands, our soils. And even before we started to really industrialize, hire our agriculture, we had still ample amounts, a little bit hit and miss, but we still had fairly ample amounts of minerals in our soils. But in the last half century and century, particularly in the last half century with 3 million dams around the world, we have pretty much mitigated the flooding, and that was a primary manner in how minerals used to get in the soil, through the silt of all the flooding. And it's very hard to get the silt off, so you just plow the silt into the soil, and that's unknowingly, that's how we had ample minerals come into our soils. And before that, in smaller farms, we used to do ash practice before electricity came along. We used to dab ash on our crops. There used to be ash merchants. So that's how we used to inadvertently, unintended, unknowingly, that's how we used to end up with more supply of minerals in our soils. Because if the minerals aren't in the soils, they don't end up in the food, and they don't end up into us. Even if it comes into us, we need to absorb them. So this is the other part. I'll get to particular supplementing after skimming this particular surface here. So we need to absorb, and the older you are, let's just say you're 40, it's going to be much harder to absorb versus a 20-year-old, because especially if you've been eating any gluten, which is wheat, barley, rye, oats, and buckwheat, I think now as well, you're damaging, you have damaged the villi in your small intestine that does most of the absorption of minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids, the 4 categories of micronutrients. And once you get to age 60, 80, it's pretty much like a garden hose. It goes straight through. You've got no villi left. You're only absorbing 1%, 3% of the micronutrients. And that's why we age faster, get iller, more ill, more quickly, and then we die at 80 instead of 120. And that's what's happening there. So we need to supplement these days, particularly the minerals. But I do have a all-encompassing regime, a way to health. It's called the Health 44. Just quickly here, I know this is going to have one-off listeners. This is what I advocate. I call it the Health 44. The first four, the 44 is eliminate those glutens, so wheat, barley, rye, oats. So gluten out, oils out, sugar and nitrates, nitrites out, to give you the best clean slate. Tabula rasa to start with. And then you bring in the second four, the 44, which is the 90 declared essential micronutrients, okay? The micronutrients which the body cannot produce on their own. And yes, even though we can produce vitamin D through the sunlight, it's not that easy. We need the minerals as cofactors to make it all work. So you bring in the 90 declared essential micronutrients, 60 of those are minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 essential fatty acids. For a 40-year-old, you'll start seeing benefits in 3 months. By month 18, you're well on your way to full recovery. The time frame, we don't want that lengthy time frame. You want miracles. Well, yes, there can be miracles with mainstream healthcare where you're stabbed, shot, run over by a truck, and ensuring life. Yes, mainstream health, wonderful. I just broke my thumb recently. Great, thank you for those pins and all that sort of thing. But when it comes to this chronic stuff, chronic illness, it's not genetic, it's micronutrient deficiencies. And if it runs in your family, well, your family has the same sort of diet, particularly when you're younger, and you've got a base which is impaired. Most of us are these days. And the reason why we think that things run in the family, particularly with PCOS, is our sensitivity to gluten damage in the small villi. Particular minerals aren't being absorbed. We think that eating less cholesterol will lengthen our life. It's impairing our fertility and brain health. So that's where it's at, okay? So we need to supplement these days. We need to take note of the particular preparation to make the food bioavailable. And that goes with people that juice, people that, what's another bioavailability issue? If you're taking supplements and still eating pasta, you're only going to probably absorb 3%. The max is probably 70% if your villi is intact, and you're taking colloidal minerals. For those people that think that Himalayan salt, Celtic sea salt, general sea salt will give you those, it has 80-ish minerals in those salts, you're not going to absorb it. Even if you haven't eaten gluten in 20 years, you still won't absorb it because it's metallic form and rock form. It's less bioavailable. So you need colloidal minerals, which these days means supplementing. And I'd advocate for supplementing the whole works, the whole 90 declared essential micronutrients, to get all this to work, to get your waterworks to work. And time frame can be fairly instant. Some people will respond very, very quick, and most will need to, not need to, but that's the name of the game. You need to heal, particularly the villi in your small intestine, from not eating gluten, and it will be helped by the whole elimination of the oils complex. No olive oil, no coconut oil, no avocado oil, because all oils, especially from a bottle, have oxidized, they're rancid, particularly if it's olive oil, it's cut with canola oil, because there's not enough oil, there is not enough olive trees in the world to supply how much olive oil we are consuming. It is cut with other oils. Okay? So yeah, beware or be wary or understand that. If you want olive oil, crush the oil in front of your face and consume it. Put it on your dressing. Eat it fairly quick because it's starting to oxidize. Okay, so that's that consideration. Don't fry because it's already rancid, plus the superheat with the frying impairs the meat. Okay? Yes, I have my services are available. Check out the link on all episodes and whatever, wherever I've posted this. There is a way out. It just takes a while because it took a while for you to get damaged. Yeah? So even if you think this is shite, if nothing else is giving you light, this approach will give you light. Not just light. It resolves. It is resolvable. Okay? So it's there free of charge, but if you got issues, I know how to work through it. So I'm just going to leave the poor viewer and listener right there. And thanks for your interest anyway. If it sticks, good. If not, I don't care. So, until the next time, hopefully, bye-bye.